Hello, hi, welcome back. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. My name is Michael, and I'm obsessed with houseplants. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you my Marantaceae collection, or my prayer plant collection. All the plants that you see behind me are in the Marantaceae family. They are known for their striking markings on the leaves. Of course, the, what would you call it, mechanism that allows their leaves to go up and down throughout the day and the night, hence the name prayer plant. And the backs, y'all, the backs. The undersides of the leaves, they give you the most beautiful eggplant deep purple color y'all have ever seen. Not to mention their leaves are oftentimes, especially this bugger, the softest thing you've ever felt in your life. Okay, now, y'all new plant parents might be getting all these warnings telling you to stay away from the Calathea or the prayer plants. Mostly Calathea because of the pests and the humidity. They're so finicky and dramatic. Boo! And the water.
Like, ew, I will never get a Calathea because they will die immediately because of the spider mites and the humidity and the distilled water and like...
You know what? Maybe you're the dramatic one. I mean, look at this gosh darn plant. Why did I pick up the heaviest pot? Do you not want to bring this beautiful, ornate foliage into your home? You can too! Enjoy the beautiful So if you have thought that the Calatheas or Marantas or Goepportias or Tenanthes or Stramanthes were pretty, but you thought that you could never have one because they were impossible to keep alive, then keep on watching and maybe I'll change your mind. I don't know who I am trying to be right now. I have 4 tips. 4 easy, measly tips. That's all you need to have gorgeous plants like these in your home. 4. There's only 4. Okay, the crispy edges. The crispy edges. For the most part, do you see any crispy edges? Don't look at him. Don't look at him. And the answer is no. You don't. Because you just water them with distilled water. How hard is that? I feel like I've said this 1,000 times, but you can't water your prayer plants with tap water because the minerals and the salt buildup in the soil will burn the edges of your leaves. So you have to water it with distilled or filtered water. I forgot I was going to show you the plants as well, instead of just yelling at you. Let's get one of the all-time faves, Goepportia orbifolia. This was a wish list plant of mine for a while. I love the subtle but beautiful markings and ripples of these leaves. And the leaves get quite large on this big boy. I do have this under a grow light and it seems to be responding well. This is, as you can see, I can't stop touching it. It's quite big compared to the other leaves. And this guy that's unfurling right now, which can't get enough of the cigar-shaped unfurling leaves. He's gonna be quite large quite large as well. So happy about that. And it does have some brown tips, which I believe is due to a humidity problem. Which brings me to tip number 2, humidity. I said that weird. Humidity. So this guy is usually living out in my living room, and since it's gotten colder here, the heaters started, and I think that is the reaction to those heat vents right underneath where the plant actually was. Might move the orbifolia in here, the plant room. It used to be my room, but my needs were pushed aside for the needs of these plants. So it is quite humid in here, too humid for my liking, so sometimes I sleep on my couch. So yeah, try a humidifier. I'm not gonna say put it on a pebble tray because I don't think those do anything. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna put my hygrometer right by a plant that's on a pebble tray, and I'm gonna record the humidity, and I don't think it's gonna go up. Some of these are a little pickier than others when it comes to humidity. This Calathea Freddy, he's one of my easiest Calatheas. I just do whatever the hell with him, and he doesn't really care. What the hell was I saying? For most of his life, I haven't even paid attention to what the humidity was around this plant, and he has been doing fine. I mean, barely you can see some brown tips. Barely. And you know what? Maybe that's from humidity. I think out in my living room, the humidity is on a low day around 40, on a high day around 60, without a humidifier. So yeah, number 2, high humidity, not even that high. Oh, oh, Plants like these, on the other hand, this Calathea White Fusion, they are a lot pickier when it comes to humidity. When I first got this, I had it out in my living room, and it was fine for a while until Travis was like, that's not gonna be alive for long, and I showed him, and it was beautiful, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, it's beautiful, it's thriving. And he was like, okay. And I swear 3 days later, it was covered in spider mites and half dead. So I moved it into my bedroom where it is a lot more humid, around 60 to 70 or sometimes higher. And I cut back all of the gross 1 leaf left of the spider mite infestation. I cut all those back, and all of this here is new growth. Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, these guys bounce back. So don't give up, y'all. Do not give up. Which brings me, while we're here talking about this beauty, my 3rd tip, lighting. So while I was recouping this guy, I did have him under a pretty bright grow light, just to get it going again. And also, the more light you give this guy, the more of the white you're gonna get. But also, if you give it too much light, you are not gonna see that purple color that I showed you before. There is a very faint little bit of purple under that side, but for the majority, there isn't really any purple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this back from the light. Because yeah, unlike, you know, your variegated plants where they give you generally more variegation if they have more light, or say your Hoyas or your succulents that give you that sun-stressed color if you give it more light. These guys, back to this Goepportia warsawickii and the undersides of the leaves. This one you can see isn't as purple as the other leaves, and that is because it was getting too much light to produce that color. If you know, these, like most plants, are understory plants that live on the ground of forest floors. I'm pretty sure this purple color allows the plant to absorb more of that light so it doesn't pass through the leaf, or so it doesn't reflect it away. So when it's getting enough light, it doesn't produce that purple color because it doesn't need to keep more of that light from reflecting or passing through, whichever it might be. This is my Maranta leuconeura Kochaviana, I think is how you say it. Kerchoviana. And speaking of lighting, not only will too much light fade the undercolor purple, it'll also fade markings such as these. I believe if I pull this plant a little farther back from its light source, these little markings will be a little more pronounced, a little more maroon, a little cuter, a little more contrast. So I'm gonna do that because that sounds nice. By the way, this guy, he was in one of these self-watering pots, which most of my Marantaceae plants are in, because on the other hand of watering, I forgot to mention, you know what, this is tip 3. What tip are we on? This is tip 4, y'all, okay? We have 5 tips. Okay, 5 tips. Most of my plants are in these self-watering pots because they like to remain moist. Not soggy, but moist. Which brings me to this little guy, Calathea yellow fusion. As you can see, he's barely hanging on. He's coming back. He's bouncing back. You put your water in this portion of the pot, which is glazed, and you have this unglazed portion of the pot that you place inside of the water, which then is absorbed through the wall of the ceramic and soaks your soil. And it keeps it at a perfect moisture level. They love it. I love it because I only have to like do that. If it's dry, then I pull it up, pour some water in it, and it's that easy. And I don't know, ever since I repotted this one into a bigger pot and didn't have one of those, it kind of looks like crap right now. Before it was more like compact and bushy. Now it's kind of sprawled out, and I got a lot of brown tips and I lost a lot of leaves. So not quite sure. Maybe due to a little bit of root rot. Maybe the pot was too big from the original pot that I repotted it from, perhaps. This is my Calathea makoyana, other known as the peacock plant. I'm sure you can tell why. This one is new to my collection, and I can't believe that it took this long for me to appreciate this freaking beautiful Calathea. If you get close and look at these markings, it's gorgeous. And the backs. It's not fully purple. It matches the markings from the top of the leaf, but in that deep purple color. Y'all, it's unbelievably beautiful. Which brings me to my 4th tip, pests. I don't know how many tips I have or what number we're at. Just check for pests, okay? It's just like any other plant, okay? check for spider mites. If you see them, get a little squirt bottle, do a mixture of water, alcohol, maybe throw some neem oil in there, and a drop or two of dish soap. Okay, mix it up, spray it, get a soft cloth, a paper towel, or I really like to use a soft paintbrush, like a watercolor or acrylic paintbrush, and brush off the leaves. Underneath the leaves, check underneath the leaves, and yeah, wipe every single leaf down, get in the crevices, and dry it. Don't let it sit there and dry. It can affect the leaves, especially the leaves of this white fusion are very tender and delicate. So I would say don't put the alcohol if you're gonna do this. If the leaves are very tender and thin and white, be very gentle with what you're rubbing them down with and how gentle you rub them. Just be gentle, okay? Be gentle. Talked about you, and oh, okay. So, here you can see my Maranta, leuconeura, lemon lime. She's loving her life. Vining, as you can see. This guy literally has not stopped growing since I bought it over a year ago. Just constantly. I also have a little propagation from that mother plant right here. He's also doing quite well. The last one for y'all, the big daddy, I believe this is a Calathea setosa. Actually, I have no idea what this is because Google don't know. Okay? Google don't know. Google don't know. I can't figure out if this is a Calathea, Calathea, Goepportia. Google does not know. I can't figure it out. As well as another plant that looks just like this guy that I thought this was until I was like, wait a second. It just has finer veining, maybe more of a blue tint. It's called the gray star. Scientific name, Calathea, Goepportia, Calathea. Who knows? Of course, it has the beautiful undersides and these very long, elegant stems, which I love. And that is the other beautiful thing about this genus of plant. It lifts up its leaves at night so you can see the backs. It's just like, oh, by the way, I'm gorgeous. You're just like looking at it all day, like, look at those beautiful markings. What a stunner. And then you're like about to go to bed and you look over and she's like, oh, by the way, bitch. And you're like, you know what I mean? So you guys, that not have you burn in the light bulb, please. So there you have it, you guys. Those are all my prayer plants and my 4 or 5 tips to help you keep them alive, beautiful, and thriving in your homes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. If I changed your mind about Calathea or maybe convinced you to maybe give it a try again or try it out for the first time, let me know. I'd love to chat with you down in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' experience with Calatheas, good and bad. I'd love to hear it, maybe help you out. And if you think there's any prayer plants out there that you think that I need to add to my collection, feel free to let me know. I'd love to add some more, of course. There's over 500 different varieties. So, bring them on. You know, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that jazz. It would really help out my channel and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for joining me and coming this far, listening to me babble about my plants. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for more plant shenanigans. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.